folders. You got all sorts of goodies that we haven't talked very much about any of them yet. Let's see, on your right-hand side, as you're looking at that, is your curriculum packet that we'll go through in just a minute. It has all of the lessons that we'll be doing from Monday through Friday. So that's gonna, we'll talk more about that in a minute. And then on the other side, you have a folder that is a little packet that talks about, the little front page shows you what we're going to be talking about today and gives you some notes. So that's the scouting report for VBC 2016. And then behind that, you're going to find your packet of procedures and policies that we'll touch on. And then you also have a lineup card and the list of teachers that are helping you in your classroom. So we're going to cover all of that stuff. But I just want you to know that the page, I'm kind of going to be going through these 7 things on the scouting report. And as we do that, I hope to give you some information. And this will be specifically about your 2- and 3-year-old classes. The first thing you need to know is that we are doing curriculum with 2- and 3-year-olds. We believe that all kids, babies all the way up through 5th grade, they all can be taught something. And what the cool thing is, when they're 2 and 3, is you're building the foundation. So we get to have the first experience with these kids as they're learning new words, and they're learning about how much Jesus loves them and how church is a great place to come. So we want to take advantage of that. So we have a curriculum that goes along with what the older kids are going to be learning, but it's taught in a 2- and 3-year-old style. So they're going to get to go to praise and worship time. They're going to have rec time. We are going to have crafts. We are going to go out on the playground. So we're going to have lots of fun things going on with these 2- and 3-year-olds. It's not going to be a nursery where they come in and you just play with them the whole time. There is going to be some interacting and some curriculum that goes along. And everything is already prepared for you. And so that's kind of the exciting thing. I'm Amy Fulton, and I'm the Early Childhood Program Director. I've been on staff for almost 9 years. I've worked with the 2-, 3-, and 4-year-olds and have done that ever since I've been on staff. I have 2 kids, a freshman and a sophomore, or they would tell you they're almost a sophomore and almost a junior. And they go to Blue Valley High. You'll see Jenna's teaching pre-K. She started going to Bible camp when she was 2, and she has been going, and now she's helping. And you'll see her, she's doing a lot of the drama and filming. So you'll see her, she's doing a spin-off of Brett Lefebvre. She's going to be one of the reporters ahead of time. So Bible camps very much impacted them. Kind of my role in VBC is that I have, with a team of people, come up with the curriculum for the 2- and 3-year-olds, and I also will be coordinating that. And so you'll see a lot of me. I'll be there to help you along with Julianne, who's one of my regular volunteers. She's going to be a senior next year, so she's also going to be helping me and stepping into classrooms. So you guys are going to get some special attention. We have 4 classes, and the 2 of us are going to be making sure you guys are taken care of and helping out however we can. Okay, so let's look at these 7 things. Our scouting report for VBC 2016. Number 1 is to prepare for the season. So the season, it's VBC 2016. And so some things you can do to get prepared for Bible camp that is just in a few weeks is first off to make contact with all the volunteers. Not everybody's here. I think we have about half of you here, but you have a list of everybody that's on your team. And so one of the first things you could do is just make contact with everybody. Say, hey, I'm excited to serve with you, can we get together to talk about things, or do you want to meet on setup day? A lot of times that's what the 2- and 3-year-old teachers do. And you have a list of all those people. And some of you are here today, so you might want to just touch base with people that might be in your classroom that are here. So we'll do that at the end. One of the things you can do once you make contact is kind of divide the responsibilities. There's not a whole lot to do. It is your classroom, and you are welcome to decorate it however you want. A lot of times people will decorate their doors, and we give you all the supplies to do that. If you want to go above and beyond and do more than that in the classroom, that's great. But really, if you make a decoration for the door, that's probably awesome. And you don't need to do much more than that. You also should talk before your first day about who is going to be the person that greets every day and does the attendance. That should be the same person every single day. You might want to decide who's going to be the Bible storyteller. You might want to decide who's going to make sure that all of our supply person, make sure the supplies are always here. Who's going to be in charge of that all-important notebook that Stacy talked about. who's going to be the person that always remembers to take that with us, who's going to be our official counter and make sure that all of our kids are here. So just if everybody kind of has their roles in the classroom, I think that helps everybody feel comfortable and useful in the classroom. So the other big thing you need to do before Bible camp is read through the lesson plans. That's why we gave them to you ahead of time. We want you to be familiar. When you walk in that classroom, you want to know what's going on. You don't want to be reading the lesson while you're trying to also interact with the kids, because it doesn't work. When the kids get there, they want your attention. You're going to have people that can go to the bathroom, and people that are crying, and people that are having problems sharing toys. So you're not going to have a chance to read through the lesson and figure out what you're doing then. So make sure that you read through those ahead of time. They mentioned that setup is on June the 12th, which is a Sunday from 1 to 4. If you're not going to be able to make it for that, you need to let your team know that, because that would be a great time for you to meet with your team if you haven't already, and to discuss how the week is going to flow. The other big thing is name tags. You guys don't have to worry about making name tags for your kids unless you want to. We're going to use the system we use during the weekends, and that's using our little Plan B stickers. So every single day you'll have a sticker for your kids, and one sticker goes to the parent, one goes on their back, and one goes in the attendance notebook. And we'll run through that. Whoever's your attendance person, Julianne or I, will come and make sure you know how to do that. But one suggestion I give is that go ahead and write these out for your kid. Put their name on it. You'll also have the parent's name, and then all they'll have to fill in is the cell phone number. So that's something that can be done ahead of time. But as I said, if you want to make something cute for the kids to wear also, that is fine. Just make sure you don't wear anything that hangs around their neck, because that can be kind of dangerous for 2- and 3-year-olds that they can pull things. But if you wanted to make stickers or something, you can do that. Okay, questions about preparing for VBC? You guys got it. Very good. Okay, let's move on to number 2. Use your playbook. Now, I'm not going to talk much about this. The playbook is your attendance notebook that Stacy already talked about. So she talked about all the important information that will be in here. We'll have your roster. This is the notebook that needs to go everywhere with you. It'll have your curriculum in it, maps. The other important thing that I don't know if she mentioned or not, but we'll have a list if your kids have allergies, which is real important with 2- and 3-year-olds to know, because they can't always tell you that. Most parents are really good about that, but there'll be a list in your attendance notebook about allergies. Any questions about the notebook? I think Stacy kind of addressed. You get how important it is, right? It's like not having your bat at the baseball game. That would be really, really bad. So, okay, we'll make sure we have that with us. Okay, number 3 is to start with a hit. Okay, it's day 1, Vacation Bible Camp. The kids are going to start showing up at about 12:10. That's what time they can check in. Bible camp starts at 12:30, but we're going to ask that you're in the classrooms ready to go no later than 12:10. I would suggest, if you can, be in here a few minutes earlier than that, just so you can make sure your room's ready to go. You can take a minute to pray over the room, to talk with the other teachers. The other classroom teachers, they can start checking in at 12:15. So they're going to come to you guys first, because they have to drop off their kids before they can go volunteer. So that's why we tell you 12:10. If you can't be there at 12:10, you just need to let your teammates know that. You have to have at least 2 people to start checking in, and you have 5 or 6 people in a class. So if there's one day you're not going to be there on time, that's fine. Just let your teammates know what's going on. The other things to start with the hit, make sure that you talk with your team, you've assigned those roles on what's going to happen that day. Make sure you have all your supplies. We'll talk about that in a minute, that we will have almost everything you need there, but you might want to check and make sure you have the right amount, and you don't need anything extra. And that's what Julianne and I, you can let one of us know, hey, I need 2 more hats, I don't have enough. Hopefully it won't be a problem, but we can run and get you extra supplies. You run out of stickers, you might need more stickers, or you might need water cups. So that all can be done before you start off. And then the big thing, when they walk through the door, greet them with a smile, especially that first day. We know that 2- and 3-year-olds have separation anxiety sometimes. If they've been in our classrooms, it should be very familiar to them, but there's going to be some kids who have never been in our church before. So greet them with a smile. It's always good to get down on their level, so you're not towering over them. You want to greet the kid first. They're the person coming into your classroom. Also talk to the parents. You're going to want to get information about, make sure their cell phone, you've got their cell phone number if we need to contact them. You might want to, they're probably bringing in bags with things in them. So you just want to make sure that you label things. They might have a change of clothes or something like that. So just make sure you keep track of everything. And then work on engaging a child as soon as you can when they walk in the door. The goal is to get the child in and the parents stay outside, because if the parent comes in with them, it doesn't work very well. So get that kid in the door, get them engaged. We'll always have a welcome activity that they can do. As I said, just acknowledging them. I know that one classroom last year, they did a cheer. Every time one of the kids came, the person checking in would say, "Yay, look, Stacy's here!" And then everybody was supposed to clap because Stacy was walking in the door. So they were really excited, and it got the kids involved in greeting. So start with the hit. If you start off on a positive note, then the rest of the day hopefully is going to go really smoothly. Okay, questions about any of that?
You said try to be here by 12:10. What if you have like 3 kids and you're dropping them off? Is it possible to drop them off?
I would come to the room that you're helping in,
Okay.
and then once you get a couple of teachers there,
Yes.
you make sure there's enough teachers to get check-in, then you guys can take turns bringing your other kids. So just bring your other kids with you,
Okay.
and as soon as enough teachers are there, it shouldn't be a problem. You just have to take turns, and same with checkout, say, "Okay, I'm gonna go get my kids, and then I'll come back," and just have to rotate through. You'll have a lot of youth in your rooms too, so it shouldn't be hard to do. So again, work with your team. That should probably be one of my things. Okay, anything else? All right, we're halfway done, we're almost there. And this is the big one. We're gonna look at the game plan. So the game plan is what we're going to be doing, the exciting things you can look forward to. So pull up your curriculum packet. That was the thing on the right-hand side. All right. And on that very front page, we got one. Okay. So the page number 1 shows you our scope and sequence. So it tells you exactly what we're going to be talking about. So you see what the message is going to be about, you see what the Bible story is going to be about, you see the main point, and then you see the faith words. We're really big on faith words with 2- and 3-year-olds because we're trying to establish their vocabulary, so using those words a lot will come in handy. So that's the same messages they're going to be hearing upstairs. We're just going to be focusing a little different than they are on some things. Okay, page number 2. It gives you some ideas for some exploration centers. And these are just, when you're working with 2- and 3-year-olds, they like to move from thing to thing. They don't stay at one place very long. He was telling you about attention span. So if you have a 2-year-old, they have like a 2-minute attention span, if even that, and 3-year-olds, maybe 3 minutes. So if you have different places around the room set up, if you have a Bible center and you have a building center with Legos, and then maybe over at the table, they could be coloring things. So you have lots of different stations set up. These are some ideas of what you can do. They're just suggestions. They're meant to happen probably either at the very beginning of VBC or at the very end before they're getting picked up. So those are just a list of suggestions. And you might have your own ideas, and that's fine too. But use that as a starting point. The next page is some friendship game ideas. And we'll talk about friendship circle, and we'll see where those can be used in just a minute. And then page number 4 gives you some closing activity ideas. I just want to, as we go through curriculum, we'll see how those are going to come into play. And then the next page, you're going to see our first day of curriculum. And depending on what class you're in, you could have a red rainbow, green sunshine, but they all will have right here, this is your schedule for the day. All right, so you can see times, you can see what you're going to be doing during that time, and then you'll see a block that says supplies, okay? So everything in the lesson supplies will be in your room when you get there. So you don't have to prepare anything, but you can look to make sure these are all the things you're going to need to get through your day. So you'll see, I'm just going to kind of talk in general about a day. For the first 25 minutes or so, it's going to be your welcome time. And that's when you're getting the kids engaged in something. We'll have a craft they can do, and that's where those centers I was talking about comes into play. They might want to go play in the kitchen. That's fine. So it's just a time when a lot of kids are checking in at different times, so it's just kind of to get them into the classroom, get them settled. Once everybody's there, then you're going to go into what we call the friendship circle. Now the friendship circle is the time where we want them all together. We're going to have these right here. These are our baseball diamonds. You're all going to have one in your classroom. This is what they're going to gather around every day. So probably one of the first things you're going to talk, and we'll talk through the lessons, is about the game of baseball and home plate and first and second and third. Talk about what baseball is. We'll have actual baseballs that you can show them. So just talking about the game, you need to remember that 2 and 3-year-olds might not know what baseball is. So you just need to kind of pay attention because the Royals, a lot of them might know who the Royals are. They maybe are watching baseball. Just be aware of that. But in Friendship Circle, first clean up all the toys in the room and then have them gathered around for Friendship Circle time. And during that time, you're going to start by singing a song that they're very familiar with if they've been coming to any type of Kids Corps program. And I'm going to sing it for you so you know the tune, and they probably can teach it to you too. If you look on the second page, you'll see it's in bold there to the tune of 10 Little Indians, and it goes something like this. I know a girl whose name is Amy. Stand up, Amy. Sit down, Amy, because God loves you. So the kids' job is to stand up when you say their name and sit down. What we're trying to do there is to make sure that we call every child by name. That makes them feel important. They might not want to stand up the first day, and that's okay. By day 5, they might be jumping up, and when you sing it 5 times, saying their name. So it's just an easy way to get them engaged, to make them feel important. And so that's something you're going to do every single day. On that first day, Nick was talking about how it's important to set up some guidelines. It's important to set up guidelines for 2 and 3-year-olds also. And I'll just tell you what we've done with our 2 and 3-year-olds with our guidelines is we've used Mr. Potato Head. We started this last year to help them, to teach them some expectations. And this is what Mr. Potato Head teaches us, that we're supposed to use our listening ears, okay, listening ears. So you need to listen to what the teacher says, listen to what other people are saying, use our quiet voices. You always need to use your loving heart, so you need to be kind to people. We shouldn't hit, we shouldn't grab a toy away from people. We always need to be doing the loving thing. Helping hands, so when helping clean up the toys, helping the teacher with a special job, and we need to use our walking feet. We can't be running down the hallways, we don't want to get hurt, we can't be running in the classroom, so we use our walking feet. So that's just a suggestion. That's something you can use. We'll have these posters up in your room so you can refer to them. But the first day might be a great day for you to teach them this. And we have a little song that goes along with it too, so let me play that for you.
Hi friends, I'm Miss Emma. We're going to learn the Kids Core 4. It's going to be how to behave in church. Are you guys ready? Awesome! Here we go! I will use my walking feet, walking feet, walking feet. I will use my walking feet when I go to church. I will use my helping hands, helping hands, helping hands. I will use my helping hands when I go to church. I will use my loving heart, loving heart, loving heart. I will use my loving heart when I go to church. I will use my listening ears, listening ears, listening ears. I will use my listening ears when I go to church. You guys did awesome! Good job!
All right, so that's what we call the Kids Core 4. So that might be something that you want to teach them. And that's a chant you could do in the classrooms. As I said, it will make your whole week go smoothly if they know expectations ahead of time, even your 2 and 3-year-olds. And a lot of times they want to have that structure, so that's a good thing to do. Okay, so after Friendship Circle, the next thing that you are going to do is, some of you are going to go to rec time, some will have Bible story exploration. Bible story exploration is when we're going to teach the Bible story, and this year we're going to teach it using our baseball gloves. So every day, they're all going to get a little baseball mitten, okay, and then each day they're going to get a different character to put on their mittens. So Queen Esther is one of them. So you're going to give everybody their little glove, and then you're going to read the Bible story. And we have adult ones too, so you guys have adult ones. But every time you say, like I think you say King Solomon, when you're reading King Solomon here, I think every time you say Jesus, they're going to hold up their hand. So it kind of just helps them pay attention, and it's kind of fun because you're using their little baseball glove. And then they'll get to take the glove and their little characters home at the end of the week. So that's how we're doing the Bible story. And hopefully they'll find that a fun thing to do. And get a fun little piece of baseball equipment to go home with them. So that's Bible story exploration. Then as I said, you'll have rec time. If you're in a rainbow class, you'll get to go out to the North-X, which is the big open area out by the steps where you first walk in. And there'll be some recreation leaders there that will have some games with parachutes and bubbles and balls. And they'll be the ones in charge of a couple of games for the kids. If you're in a butterfly room, you're going to go to our playroom called Logan's Landing, and there you'll get to play the indoor equipment. So either way, it'll be kind of fun. I'll get the kids moving, and we'll help direct you to those places when it's time. After that, we have praise and worship time. Again, we have a praise and worship leader that's going to be in charge of that. So we do not go into the big sanctuary because that's way overwhelming for 2 and 3-year-olds. But instead we go to what we call Treehouse Park, which is our worship space for 2 and 3-year-olds. It's downstairs, right next to where your classrooms are going to be. And during that time we'll have song, we'll do offering, we'll have the puppets there every single day. They'll love that. We'll do Bible words, which is like a memory verse. But as I said, your big job during that time is just to interact with the kids, redirect them if needed, but somebody else will lead in that part of it. Then you'll go back to your classrooms for a small group exploration, and it's during that time that we do a couple activities to teach them more about how they can apply what we learned that day. And they'll be making different things. There's always a creation station, so we're going to make baseball hats. They're going to have baseball hats that they get to decorate and make it look like a crown, little gems on it, and fun things. They're going to make their scepter bats. So queens have scepters. So this is going to be their bats. So they're going to decorate the little guy here, and these are little fingerprints that they've got going along with that. So this is going to be their scepter bat. They're going to make a baseball with their handprint. You're going to paint their hands. You get to use paint. How fun is that? And you're going to have them put that on the baseball to take home. And you're going to make pennants, Team Jesus pennants. All right, so that's just a coloring thing that they're going to do. And then you're going to have a parade. We're teaching them about the Palm Parade, and so we're going to kind of relate it back to baseball. So those are just some of the creation things we're going to do. And then there's always some sort of game. A lot of times we're using these baseball diamonds that you have in your classroom doing different things. So that's small group exploration, and then the last thing you do is closing activities. And I give you a list of those that you can do. There's also these, what we call the closing activity bins, that have a ball and a parachute and bubbles and bean bags and scarves. And then we have all these cards with ideas of things that you can do with those. So it's a great thing to help get them organized in an activity at the end of the day. And that's usually when there's a huge meltdown. So the one thing that I suggest to you about the end of the day is to make sure that you put up all the toys and that you do some sort of organized activity with them. And maybe it's something they look forward to. We're going to get to use the parachute at the end of the day if we get everything cleaned up. Or maybe it's the bubbles. They love the bubbles too. So just find, and that might be something you want to talk with your people in your teams about. What are some fun things we can do at the end of the day? Because I promise you, if you don't, that's when we're going to have our sharing issues. We're going to have meltdowns by kids. It can get pretty bad. We don't want that to happen. So. Okay, so lots of fun things that we get to do. The other thing I didn't mention is we get to go to the playground if it's not raining. The playground is outside on the south side of this building. So you'll have a time when you get to go there. And you also have snack time. They will bring you snacks, and you'll be able to incorporate that into your day at some time. Lots of fun things. And as I said, it's already, you see the curriculums right now, you could read it word for word. We encourage you to read it ahead of time and then kind of make it your own. The other thing that you will have is you're going to have booklets for the kids. These will be programs. It's not assembled like that yet, but there will be some pages in here the kids can color. So that's just something you can set out for the kids, and then they can take those home on Friday. So that's just an extra activity that you'll have. All right, number 5. The other real important one, we don't want no one on the DL list. So that's the disabled list. We don't want anybody injured. We want to keep everybody safe. So the other packet that you had will give you some important information. And I'm just going to highlight a couple things. You guys have it. In that, it's at the top of the page, it's page 5. It says 2- and 3-year-old classroom volunteer information. Give you some information. You've covered most everything, but I would encourage you to read through that. Page 5, page 6. I think we've talked about all of that. And page 7. So just make sure you read through that again. That'll kind of reinforce what I've already talked about today. Page 8 and 9 is what I just want to briefly talk about. It's the overview of the safety policies and procedures. So the big thing with helping in the classroom is that you should never be alone with a child. If it's your own child, that's okay, but you can't be alone with any other child. So just realize that that is the guidelines that we're going with. So that means you can't check in kids until there's 2 people there. Youth count the same as adults. It doesn't have to be 2 adults, it just has to be 2 people. And over 12, I guess, because that's how old our youth helpers are. You should never, like if you're going on to the playground and one of the kids is in the bathroom, one helper can't stay back with that child while they go to the bathroom. 2 other people should stay back with that child. Okay, or you should all wait for them, one or the other. So just never be alone with the child and you'll be okay. As far as discipline, if you have some behaviors in the classroom, 2- and 3-year-olds are usually pretty easy if you redirect them or you remove the object that's causing the problem. So if they're struggling, everyone wants to play with the grocery cart and we're all fighting over the grocery cart, the best thing to do is to take the grocery cart and put it in timeout outside outside the classroom so they can't even play with that. All right, so that's removing that. Or distracting them with something else like, oh wow, look out the window, isn't that really cool? Let's go take a look. And so that kind of distracts them from what they were upset about and gives them, sometimes they just want attention. So if it goes above and beyond that, you've tried everything that you know to do, that's when you should let me know. And I can come in, or Julianne can come in, and we can work one-on-one with the kid. We can give you some suggestions on what to do. But it's really hard when you have one kid that you're trying to redirect and you're trying to teach the other 12 kids. So just realize that you're not alone, that we're there to help you out with those things. And just make sure you do everything with love. We don't put kids in timeout. We try to praise positive behaviors as much as we can. Stay away from the negatives and just remember to do things with love. My bathroom procedures. If you're in a 2-year-old room, you'll have a staff person there. So you will not have to change any diapers. If anybody has any potty accidents, you don't have to do that. As I said, the butterfly rooms will have a staff person in your rooms that will be there to do those things for you. In the rainbow rooms, if you have a kid who has a potty accident, you probably won't have many in diapers. You might have some in pull-ups. But if you have any problems, then you need to come get me or somebody on staff and we'll take care of that. If they just need to go to the bathroom, you let them do it on their own. There's bathrooms in between all of our classrooms, so you let them go to the bathroom. You stay outside the bathroom, you leave the door open a crack, and when they're done, they wash their hands, they come out. Just don't ever be in a closed situation with them, leave the door open, which seems kind of counterintuitive, but that's what we want you to do. Then, number 6, you're part of a team. So I've already told you that. Communication with your team is huge and important to make your week successful. Realize you're not by yourself. Julianne and I and the whole team of people around. There's always somebody at our Kids Core info desk. So if you need something, you can't find anybody, you can send one of the helpers up to that Kids Core info booth, which we'll show you where that is on setup day. And as I said, we'll be checking in with you. So make sure you utilize the youth. They're awesome. In fact, a lot of them have helped in our classrooms, and they are leaders in our classrooms, so you want to take advantage of that. And then finally, enjoy the game. Make sure you enjoy the week and get to know some of the kids. They love to talk and tell you more than you ever wanted to know. So you ask about their dog, they're all going to talk for about 10 minutes, right? So just give them a chance to talk and interact and really get to know them, and I think you'll have a great experience with that.